This is a genuine aero cleaner. Stainless steel, it looks like. Actually, the better ones. It's for a linkered carburetor, so it's got 4 bolts. Which means it fits 65 and earlier. And the factory air cleaner in there, you can imagine how good that filters the breathing apparatus that's in our airstream here, otherwise known as crap. This is the factory bracket that comes off the liquid carburetor. Factory center bolt. And we got 3 out of the 4 bolts. So they cheated me out of one of the bolts. And these are odd thread. They're 1224. So that goes on top of your air cleaner or your carbonator. And then it goes like that. Probably down here. You see, it's supposed to be in the middle of the carburetor, not on the side of the carburetor. And you can see how it's cut to fit also, see. And you get the bolt goes there. They got a lock tab that goes over, fold over tab, so these things don't fall off and go into your motor and make your motor run crappy. That'd be a bad thing. These are always steel, not stainless. This one here has a Phillips head on it, which would be correct for a later bike. Phillips started coming around 52-ish. I think Harley started going Phillips on some stuff. So that's that. This is a stainless steel air cleaner cover because it has no rust in it. It's genuine Harley because it has a big hole in the bottom. And it has your writing up in here. Tells you to service your air filter. Turn that light off might help for visibility. Maybe? I don't know. Cameras don't like to film shiny stuff. Okay, what do you got? Service air clean. That means clean it after at least every 1,000 miles according to instructions in your rider handbook. That'd be the book that came with the bike when you bought it. I'm sure everybody has that on for their panhead, right? Yeah, sure. Alright. So this here has been over tightened a little bit. That was why it's recessed this deep. There should not be a mark right here like that in there. Turn the light back on. So this has been overdone. Everybody says, why am I sliding my chrome parts on my steel belt? So what? Who cares? Don't hurt anything. It makes a good tool for straightening. So right now you can feel there's a high spot in here. So a high spot means it needs to be beat flat. The problem is you don't want to dimple anything because then you'll see it. This is supposed to be pretty much domed all the way across with just a very, very slight flatness to it on top. So when it's buckled and when it's bowed up here in the middle like this, it's not correct. It's also full of dirt and crap. So it needs to be worked on a little bit. First thing I do is clean the muck off of it. This is called a demucking tool, otherwise known as a rag. I'm thinking this might have been a little bit rich. That's raw fuel and oil residue coming out of the motor. Possibly this was not a brand new motor this came out of. Might have had a few miles on it. Possibly was burning some oil. Which protects the inside of your motor pretty good too, so that's nice. So it leaks a lot on the outside of the bike and keeps it well lubricated so it doesn't rust. So we like oily bikes because they don't rust like nice clean bikes that people like to clean all the time. Okay, so I got most of the muck out of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to flatten this out a little bit. Oh, let me put my towel down so I don't scratch it. There, perfect. So now we need a nice body hammer. That'd be something like this, called a ball peen. £1.5, perfect weight for everything. This has a little bit of a dome to it because I beat the tar out of stuff with it all the time. It's pretty smooth because I beat the crap out of it all the time. So it's really good for doing body work, even though it's not quite a body hammer. So I actually like it better than my body hammers. So then you do body work with it. So what you don't want to do is hit the wrong spot. Next thing is, see how it hits right here? That's bad. Because see, the hammer's too short to go in there and do it correctly. That is not a good thing. So that means this edge here is going to hit the thing and not make it work correctly. So this does not work correctly. So that means we have to have a different tool. We got to have something to beat on with this that pushes against that. So now we got to go find something to beat on that looks flat. So what do we got around here that we can beat on that looks flat? Not that. Let's see. It's a nice chunk of steel here. Oh, actually, that's aluminum. I like this piece of aluminum better because it's smoother. The problem is it doesn't have the right shape to it. It's not beveled like that, so I'm going to have to go make something. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to go make a tool. Yeah, this piece of steel over here looks nice, but it's got too much of a bevel to it. See here? That wouldn't be called a bevel. That should be called a crown. And it's very rough and sharp. You don't like that either. Plus, steel would tend to dent the material, stainless, because it's soft. So aluminum's better. So that means I got to go make some pieces here. So I'm going to go do that, and we'll be back. Okay, we're over here in the tool manufacturing area, otherwise known as a lathe. So we need to cut this piece of bar stock where it has a curve to it. So see how the curve is right here on this hammer? We want something like that where it doesn't dig in on the edge. Doesn't need to be quite that much, but needs a little bit. See, right now this is flat. Flat. We don't want that either because that's not what we want. So we want a little bit of a curve. So that means we got to cut it in there a little bit. A little bit of a crown is what we're after. That we can beat on that end fine. It's already rough. Okay. So first we're going to do is make it flat, and then we're going to make it unflat. That is too slow for aluminum. High gear. Oh, much better. Okay. Curve, I'm going to go a little bit deeper right there. Radius. Alright. Let's put our tool on here, see what we got. Yeah, I got a little bit of what I wanted in there. It's not very flat and smooth though, because it's just a rough cut. Like somebody just kind of hacked it out of a big piece of aluminum and didn't really give a shit about it. So you can see how it has a little bit of a curve to it, see? It's not quite flat. So now I'm going to take a nice fine file. Probably not quite that fine. And I'm going to go across the surface like this and kind of break it in. This one's a little rougher than I want to run. Maybe we'll find something a little smoother. There's a nice body file right here, pretty smooth. It's called a body because you can hold the handle on flat metal and not get yourself. Okay, let's see what we get with this. She's still got a curve to it. Ooh, it still does. that's going to do what we want to do. So now we have a little bit smoother finish here now. Still not perfect, but it's close enough for what I'm going to do. And you can see it has a little bit of curve in there still. So it's a little flat in the middle and a little curvy on the edge. So it'd be nice to get that dimple out of there a little bit more. So I think I'm going to work on this just a little bit more. And I'll be back.